Oh shit, boys, they got him. Oh shit, boys, they got him.
This is just a weekly up.
Cabe vez embora, né, velho? Deus meus arriva-me, torum do shoca vicilje, torum do shoca vicilje, Deus meus arriva-me. In meum corut senum sit, torariranto croco gri, torariranto croco gri, in meum corut senum sit. Deus meus arriva-me, torum do shoca vicilje, torum do shoca vicilje, Deus meus arriva-me. Domine, Domine, exaure me, manum vilonta grossa ie, manum vilonta grossa ie, Domine, Domine, exaure me, manum vilonta grossa ie, Domine, Domine, exaure me.
Excuse me. G-Weave, G-Martasha, Vawultukumai. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're all doing well. God bless each and every one of you. So, breaking news coming from Carlow. A Fair Green Tesco in County Carlow. There is a shooting, confirmed now, A man has been shot dead, probably the shooter, and another young girl has been shot as well. Now we don't know anything really about this incident. It's breaking now as we speak. This has happened in the last hour or two, so we'll keep you up to date about what's actually happening. So we'll go to some articles here, some video clips, and we've got a very important guest coming on now just shortly as well. So why this is breaking, we don't know anything really about it. The media have confirmed that there is a shooting. The Gardaí have confirmed as well that there is an incident happening in Carlow. So why let's wait and see. Maybe we'll get more information as the stream goes on, right? So welcome to tonight's show, everybody. How are we all doing? Let me know in the live chat where you're all from. And let me know in the live chat if you're from Carlow, you're from the area. So I will have to see what's happening. Like we don't really have much information to go on yet, but we'll keep you up to date here about what's happening. If there is any breaking news. So I think RT just released a statement there as well. So we'll get into all that, right? So so Paul says he's from Waterford, from up north near Belfast. Says best black, definitely not gangland. Says top Armagh here. Seeing too many different stories and claims. Says Daniel. I'm from Drogheda. Says Karen. Wexford, or maybe Wicklow one. I don't know. Kilkenny, East County Down. Says Poke New Ross. So New Ross is Michael. Niall go. I don't understand what you're saying, Paul. From Carol, check my comments above. Good to see you. No have time. Sorry, David. The chat's going that fast. Zero, how's it going? Hello from Tyrone, says Liam. Virginia Cabin, says Jennifer. Permana, says Mike Walsh. Derry in the house, says Irlanda. Dublin, says Selena. Sound, David. South Fermat, says Damien. Cheers, David. Shankill, Dublin, says Alan Byrne. Wicklow, Wexford border. How is the North demographic looking these days? Getting a lot worse. Dubs beat Armagh earlier. Did they beat? I thought Armagh won. I didn't watch the end of it. Dubs did not beat Armagh. Armagh beat Dublin. Galway, says Paddy. Dublin. Rafo, says Kyuss. Strange name. County Cavan, says Robert. Kilkenny. County Down, says Daniel. Thomas, says Dublin. County Cork, says Dale. Armagh won, yes. County Down, Newton Nard, says Adam. North Belfast. Wingab, County Kilkenny, Tipperary, says Martina. Mayo, now London, says Des. Dublin, says Enzo. God, there's a lot. I'll spend all night here if you were Colin, Ballyjames Duff. Louise is watching from Cork. Smith says he's from Monaghan. East Cork, Sheepdog. I'm from North Armagh, says Paco. Okay, look, let's say our Lord's Prayer. Ask Gilliga, right? Everyone join us, and hopefully that wee girl isn't too badly hurt. Daniel Nahar agus a bheith agus spirit níomh, amen. Arn Yahar tar now, go ní for Daniel, go dagda de rate, go nyantar de holler and tala mar yantar now. Ar narn le hul tor de new, agus might do our fecta, mar a waihamid dar vectin a fian, ac na leg shin a gahu, ac seer shin a ulk, amen. Daniel Nahar agus a bheith agus spirit níomh, amen. Alright, everybody, welcome to tonight's show. So, for those of you who are just joining, there's breaking news here coming from County Carlow. Let me refresh my Twitter page here to see if there's anything new coming in. There has been a shooting in County Carlow at Fairgreen Shopping Centre. One man is dead. We are assuming that that's a shooter. Another girl is wounded. Let me see here now. I thought I had a RT link here now. A man dead and young child badly injured after a major shooting incident in Carlow Shopping Centre. I thought I saw a... Oh yeah, here we go. So here is a statement from RTE. Yes, here. So there's RT. Let me zoom in a wee bit here. It doesn't want me to zoom in at all. I'll just have to read it then. So Gardaí are investigating a shooting incident in County Carlow this evening, during which one man died and a child was injured. Details of the incident remain unclear, but it appears a man fired a number of shots in the Tesco supermarket at the Fairgreen shopping centre at around 6:15 p.m, so 2 hours ago. The man was fatally injured during the incident. His gunshot wounds appear self-inflicted. Right. A young boy was also injured, although it is not clear yet if he sustained gunshot or other injuries as people fled from the scene. The boy was taken to hospital for treatment. His injuries are not said to be life-threatening. The shopping centre has also evacuated and the Gardaí have sealed off the scene. They are also carrying out a wider security check of the area. The Army bomb disposal team has also been called in as a precaution, as Gardaí became concerned about the possibility that the man may have been carrying an explosive device. The body of the man remains at the scene but will not be removed until the area has been declared safe. Gardaí said there is no further concern for public safety. They have urged people not to share recorded footage of the incident on social media, but to provide it to the Gardaí at Carlow Garda Station. They have also appealed to witnesses for anyone with information to contact them. So that was from RTE there. Let me go to the live chat to see what everybody's saying. What do you all think? So wow, let me see how many people are in the live chat here now. There is almost 600 watching live. Wow. A man had a bomb strapped to his legs, says Sean Mack. I don't know, I didn't see that. I haven't seen the mainstream media report that. Just have to, just keep your ear to the ground to see what does come out. Let me refresh the page, see if anything else comes out. Don't think anything else really is coming out yet. Yeah, I'm just looking here. I don't see anything. Alright, so let me go here to the live chat. JD says, I was in the Fairgreen this morning. Crime is out of control, says Marie. Absolutely. Madness is Kieran. Yeah, we don't really know what's going on. We don't really know what the incident entails. The mainstream media have just given us very limited information. Well, it's shot by the guards, says Ben, but that incident or that article that I read there says it was probably self-inflicted, so he probably killed himself. That's what they say anyway. Will this become the new norm, says Davey? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? So welcome to the show, everybody. There's well over 600 watching live right now. If you're new to the show, if you've not joined us before, please subscribe. We do maybe 2 to 3 live streams every single week. We cover all the anti-immigration protests. We hand out free flags. We hand out our free newspaper, our own part of the newspaper, the Irish Patriot. And we do interviews, we do pre-records, and we make them available to the public. So, support our work, subscribe, share these videos with all your friends and family. Let's get the message out there. And so I'm trying to think if I got anything else here regarding Carlow. That's pretty much what we know of right now. Now, we have got a special guest, right, to talk about a mega iPass centre in Sligo. Hopefully, we were trying to get him on last week, but he was called in to work on an emergency. But, okay, so this is a clip of his, right, about this iPass centre complex in Sligo. Right, so let's play this clip and then we'll bring him on, right?
This is just a weekly update here now on the mega iPass centre here in Sligo. Now, unfortunately, you can't see through it anymore with this big building now on the side. But to anyone that hasn't seen the previous videos, there's going to be 5 of these buildings, which are roughly about 5 to 6 stories high, all with about 4 apartments on each floor, and there's about 5 of them. So there's going to be about over 100 apartments being made here, and they're going to be having their own leisure centre, and they're going to have their own little playing area, and on top of that a 270 car park, which is wild. I didn't know how people, seeking international protection, are able to afford cars, but sure it is. But this is what we're dealing with Instead of giving the resources to our students and our homeless, they're building entire communities for these people that has contributed nothing. And yet we have people up and down the country, people like Sean Meehan and all these other ones who are getting punished and penalised because they decided to build a home on their own land, and they're getting terrorised with prison and everything, and yet they are building entire communities for these people. It's wild, like. Now, unfortunately, there isn't any much attention being brought to this. So whoever sees this video, do please like and share it as much as you can. And also, if there's anyone in Sligo that is also concerned about this, please reach out and then we can try to organise something. So, yeah, I say another couple of months and this place will be finished, and there's going to be an easy between at least, I don't know, 400 or 500 people that's going to be able to put into this. So, and the company that's doing it is an Irish-owned company. So instead of getting the Irish companies to be building homes for the Irish, they've taken them away from us, and now they're just building these.
There you go. That was a young man there from County Sligo. Now, that young man who took the video, we are going to bring him on right now, hopefully, with any luck. So look, let me mute him first while we get him on the phone, and then we will see. Let's give him a bell here now, right? Hopefully this all works. Call him now, a minute. Hopefully he answers. There we go.
Well, hello, Niall.
How's it going now, Declan?
How are you keeping?
Not bad, not bad. Thanks for joining us. So we're live now on the show. I just played your clip there. I don't know if you've seen it, that most recent one on your Twitter. I'll show it here, look. So that's Declan there on Twitter. Information on the Sligo iPass Centre that's under construction. What can you tell us about it, and what's the situation right now, Declan?
Yeah, so at the moment we kind of got a bit more information on it. So what's getting built up there, like, it's not even an iPass Centre. It's essentially its own little community, because it's an extension to whoever's in Sligo will know about the Globe House. It used to be the old Sisters Convent House. And it's going to be an extension onto that. But they're adding 5 buildings, and it's coming out to about 64 or 65 apartments. But each apartment is about between 3 and 5 bedrooms. So there's a lot, you can get a lot of people in there. And then they're adding an over 200 car park. And then there's like a leisure centre and a play area and like kind of like a garden area as well. So they're essentially building up a whole little community for these people, like.
Wow, it's quite incredible. It's like they're building their own little town, their mini little city within Sligo town itself. And is there any people gathering or getting organised to maybe oppose this, or?
Yeah, no, we are coming together now. Like, there's a couple of dozen of us in the last couple of weeks that have like connected one another and have started making moves. Like, we made a Facebook page there the other day, but it got flagged within like, was it 12 or 13 hours? It was taken down, so we have to make another one now on top of that. So, but no, there's definitely some motion in the town, like, but just not as much as everywhere else. And I think it's just because we haven't, like, we've been like one of the last towns to be kind of hit with the huge influx with it. Because I say, like, yourself with the stories you heard about the Ben Baldwin apartments over near the ATU and Mulligan Court.
No, tell us about that.
Well, the first one that happened was the Ben Baldwin apartments. What they did there, they had about roughly 500 beds that they usually had out for the students. But they cancelled all of that contract and leases, and then had the place sitting there empty for a year, because they had the government had that rule that the property has to lie vacant for at least a year before it could be considered as a international protection or being able to bring in asylum seekers. So it was just sat there empty for the whole year, and then they brought them in. But I don't know if this is right, is true or not, because we couldn't figure it out. But we think the Mulligan Court one as well is actually under the same people, because they only did that there in Mulligan Courts there in September. They cancelled about, what was it, 200 or 300 student leases that, like the students would always come back, come stay there during the year, and they cancelled all of them and brought them all in as well.
Yeah, they're doing the same in
Um,
Letterkenny. They've done that in a number of places. Walnut Grove and opposite the university, they had all these apartments that were rented out to, student accommodation. Then they told the students that, oh, we got to renovate your apartments, got them out, and then just filled them with Ukrainians and IPAS.
yeah, no, like that's happened. Like, no, that's what they're doing here. That's what they're doing here as well. Because was it in 2023? I think one of our local MPs came out and said that talks about changing the Ben Bulben and the Mulligan courts into, like, he came out saying that they won't actually be offered to asylum seekers. But then, little less than a year later, it was kind of, it was filled with them then. Like, so they had that kind of part in the works for a while, like, and it's the same about, like, this has all still been happening while they've been building that little community up there. And the thing about that as well is, with this whole extension community essentially being built beside the Globe House, it's like completely, it's right next door to the all girls school, Mercy College, which is a secondary school. But across the road from it is a primary school then. And then just down the road, literally about 20-second walk, there's a creche. And then there's another school just down from there as well.
This is the new so-called, or the new migrant town that they're building in Sligo.
Yeah, yeah, right next door. Like, when all the parents are dropping their kids off to school, it's the first thing they see when they pull in. It's right there onto the left.
Yeah, but it sounds very familiar. Like we've heard this very recently, like in Bundoran, at the Viscount Guest House, which is owned by Conor McAnuff, not too far from you fellas, down there in South Donegal. The Viscount Guest House is just opposite a primary school. No, it's opposite a primary school, like a stone throw away. Then beside that is a secondary school, and then beside that is the local GA pitch. And the same thing was happening down in Castle Blaney, the old convent. There was an application in for an IPAS, and now the people down there got a stop, but it was beside 4 schools and a creche. And now we're hearing the same thing down in Sligo. So maybe
Sligo,
is this
yeah.
a coincidence, or like, are these places being
No,
targeted?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I mean, like, maybe if there was like one or two situations where, they were somehow located next to a school, but like, I mean, it's countless of cases now up and down the country when they'll open an IPAS centre and it's just down the road from a creche or from a school. Like, there's countless stories of it now. Like, so I think it's kind of gone past the stage of it being a coincidence. Like, now, obviously, it's hard to tell what their whole plan is behind it. I don't know whether. Now, I know this is expecting the worst. Like, if they're, hoping that something kind of occurs, like, which God forbid doesn't, like, or it's kind of to show, like, it's, everyone in the town kind of will be around the schools, dropping their kids off, or whenever there's events on, like sport events and that. And it's almost like they make them so like the local people can see it. Do you know? It's like, look what we're able to do for these, and we're not going to do it for you, because with that whole town beside the Globe House, like, that's been built up, and I say there's only about 2 months easy left in that if they continue the same pace they've been going. But they've been able to build up something like that in less than a year. But yeah, if it comes to building student accommodation or even just social housing for people that's on the waiting list, you got to jump through all these hoops and barrels, and then you're saying that there's this, there's no money here and there's no money there. But sure, that place that's getting built up there, that's a multi-million-euro job. That is, like, like, that's big bucks there. Like, that contract would have been.
Yeah, and it'll be fast tracked as well, like you said.
Yeah, no, because like, anywhere you go in the town, like, we have a few things, you'd have things getting built up like in a estate or something, and you can go to the entrance of them and you've got the planning permission and what's being built and that there, just if anyone's coming by to have a look. But they don't have anything up there, it's just don't enter signs and that. And if you get any close to them as well, like, there's like, they'll be coming out to you asking you questions and pressuring you. Like, the other week there, I was taking a few photos of the area, and sure, all the builders on the building site was like, there was a few builders on the builder sites roaring stuff down at us. Now, I wasn't paying much heed to it now, but it seems like they're all in on it as well. But the lad that, not the lad now, the company that's doing it, their name's is a McKillian Group, and they're based up in Buncrana, and they're, oh, geez, the name's just left me now, but they're owned by another company that is allegedly responsible for like all the major, not all of them, but some of the major projects of these little towns or little asylum communities and that there. Like, they've been responsible for building a lot of them around the country, like, and they're only based up in Buncrana. I mean, they're only, you know, but yeah, it's a bit buck wild at the moment, like, because there's places around the town that you're noticing, like, there's streets now that, you know, that's like slowly being taken over as well. Like, we have a road, like up Pierce Road, it's just after up past the Garda station. And I think in the span of a month, there was like a halal shop opened up, and then the same people opened up a tire shop, and then they own a wee car wash place next door to it. So you're kind of wondering, it's just like, I highly doubt, you know, like, how he's opening up all of these new businesses while all these other businesses around us are closing down.
Yeah, well, they're obviously getting grants and they're being incentivized to do it, because I see the same thing in my local towns, like next door, the next town over, Ballybuffet, same thing, Turkish barbers, all these like African food shops, betting shops. It's the same thing all the time. In every town in Ireland you go to now, it's the same thing happening everywhere.
Yeah.
All these ethnic
No,
food shops. It's the complete annihilation of our people, of our businesses, of us as a people. We're just being getting rid of.
I know, literally, like, we're being forced out. Like, I mean, every week now, like, well, fuck me, it's every couple of days, like, you're hearing someone that, you know, they've moved to Canada or they moved to Australia, like, you know. So, I mean, we got over half of our young adults now are still living with our parents, like, you know, and yeah, and you know, it's more heartbreaking than anything, because, like, you see these people coming in, and they're given these lovely, big, beautiful houses and that there, and like I was saying, like, our young are getting stuck at home in their childhood bedrooms, like, and they're being denied that luxury of having a home, you know, or having their own little apartment, you know, a place where, you know, they can experience complete freedom as well, like, and complete independence. Well, like, you know, they're being denied that as well, like, you know, and sure, most of them now, it's either um leave the country, or, you know, stay in the same house you're, you know, nearly, it's weird saying, you know, but like, die in the same house you were born into, like, you know, and, you know, you don't want to live your whole life getting stuck there, but you also don't, you know, most of the people that I know that are leaving the country, they actually don't want to leave the country at all, but they're just left with no other option, like.
No, I agree 100%. The majority of people leaving the country, the youngsters, you know, I always hear, from the lefties, say, oh, well, they want to go and see a bit of the world. Maybe that might be true for some of them, but if they were able to get a job here and get a decent mortgage,
Yeah.
and, you know, and have the resources to live a good life and raise a family here, and if it wasn't so expensive in Ireland, people would love to stay here. You know, their families here. Why would they want to? Why would so many of our Irish children want to leave? They've been forced out because of it. All boils down to immigration. Like, it's basic supply and demand. When you bring in 1 million migrants into Ireland, it's going to cause a housing crisis. And when these foreigners are getting preferential treatment regarding healthcare, housing, social welfare, education, you name it, no, they're put priority ahead of the Irish. So in turn, the young Irish that are competing with us are going to be forced out of the country, and they're competing with these migrants for labour. Well, for example, the Ukrainians, there's 110,000 Ukrainians in Ireland. They all expenses paid for. You name it, they get it for free. Phones, housing, social welfare payments, trips back to Ukraine for Christmas, and a supposed war zone. And on top of that, they're working. They don't have to pay any bills, so they're willing to work for cheaper wages. And the Irish
Yeah,
men and women are competing with that. They're like, well, we can't. I got to pay my bills. Got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay rent. I got to pay food bills. I got to pay electricity bills. Got to pay my car, insurance, tax. migrants don't have to pay these things, but the Irish do. So the migrants are willing to work for less, and in turn driving down wages. People really need to understand that. And look, I want to make another point to you about legal migration. People coming in here into Ireland, not breaking any laws. That is really affecting the. It's not only affecting the job market and housing. It's affecting the core being, the poor culture of Ireland. We are a homogenous country. We've been a homogenous country for well over 10,000 years. And if you bring in, people of different nationalities from all over the world, it's going to dilute our culture, and it's going to, and you can see it yourself. We're losing it now. Every day going by, it's being chipped away at. I don't know what your thoughts are on legal immigration. I'm always trying to tell people about legal immigration is far worse.
Oh, you are completely right there, because like I was even reading something there the other day, and there's like nearly 100 people coming in a day under legal status, under like a work permit or a student visa and that there. But what people seem to forget is that a lot of those as well kind of stay over their time. So even if their visa runs out, they still stay on. But then I think I was chatting to someone before, and like there's special circumstances now. I think it's a lot common now. But if they come over with work visas, like some of them are actually entitled to bring like one or two people with them, as in like company. Like they're not moving to the country by themselves.
One or two, far more. It's called family reunification. They're allowed to. They're allowed to bring their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their friends, everybody.
It just multiplies then, because they bring the two people, and then those two people will bring on another 4 people. Do you know what I mean? So they keep using the same role like that. But you are completely right. Like I even see it every day as well, like diluting our culture and diluting just the way the country is. Because even like that story there the other night up in Donegal, your man that was driving, he was going to meet his auntie in the morning to bring her to the hospital, and those 3 lads tried to carjack him. They pulled, and he jumped out of the bushes and they tried to steal his car and all of that there. Those he was saying that they were like African lads or Middle Eastern lads. Like that's unheard of in this country. Like, you're not driving down some back road and you're fearing that, there's lads hiding in bushes to come out to rob your car. Like all of that's getting madness. But like it will get to a stage, like even now, like in Sligo, like we were kind of hit the last. Like I remember talking to people, and we'd see everything that's going on in like Clonmel and Newtown Kennedy, and like even in Cork and Galway and Ballina, like the towns and Dundrum is a great example, like just being completely overtaken at night. So we were kind of like everyone, there was a lot of people on their toes, like, okay, waiting, it's gonna eventually hit Sligo, like, but it didn't. And then just out of nowhere, it was like just waves of them, like like the Ben Baldwins were filled, and then the Mulligan courts were filled, and then the hotels were being filled with them out in Ross's Point, and then people bringing them into their house. Like it just got hit so quickly that like I don't even think people had time to even react to it. Now people are coming around and actually realizing it now, like, because obviously you don't see it a lot of time in Ireland, because especially in Sligo, like we've got shocking weather here, so like you very rarely see people out as it is, like, but like when the sunny days were out, people really saw it then. Like down in Queen Maeve Square, like it used to be a car park. It was like it was Stephen's Green's car park, and it got changed into a pedestrian area because they wanted something similar to Eyre Square. But sure, during the day it's overtaken. Like, like you go down there and you're lucky to hear English, like, and it's the same in places like Tesco and all that there, and even like the jobs that could have like even in like my mate, he's a big Sligo Rovers fan, and so he's always he goes to the games every week. But he was telling me I know it might seem very insufficient to some people, or not even that mattered, but they used to have a chip ban over there, and it was the local chipper, and they had to stop because I think prices or something, or staff wise, it just wasn't working out. So they actually had to take a step back, and we were like, look, we actually can't do this anymore. You might have to go find another chipper. But instead of like sourcing out like a local chipper, or like an Irish fish and chips or something, they just went to like one of the kebab shops and got it sorted there, and then all the the security now that they have over there, like, are Africans and that there. Now, I don't mind them at the same time. Like, if they're working, they're working. But you'd like to know that the locals were reached out for them roles before these ones, because there's a place up in High Street at the moment, and there's been talks about that being changed into like a small iPass centre, but more of like a middle house. They're just there for a couple of months until the house gets sorted for them. And it used to be an old B&B, but like we were up there the other day just having a look for ourselves, and now we don't know if it was timing or whatever it may have been like, but like all the security were out in the front, and they were all Middle Eastern boys. Now this B&B was it was almost like one of these self-checking B&Bs. Like it was always just a little B&B, no one much knew about it. But your man gave up on it like a few years ago and sold the building. So like even up there is getting slowly planted as well, because and like what our politicians in the town at the moment have been saying, like, we're going to fix up High Street. High Street is where where Sligo started. So, but it's like decrepit at the moment. Like there's buildings caving in, and they're like, we're going to bring more life to High Street. We're going to try open up shops. But like, like you're saying with Ballyshannon, they're just opening up like these Asian shops and
we're going to bring life into Sligo town. We're going to go Turkish barbers, like, ethnic food shops. That's what they mean.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like there is people. Like, I don't really like that food. I'm not very good with spicy food, so I've never been a fan of it anyway. Well, like, I have friends that, that does like that type of food. But then they're like, what the fuck are we going to do with 12 of them? I mean, there's 12 shops selling the same damn thing. Like, you only need the one or the two of them. And then these bloody vape shops as well. Like, I can't stand them vape shops. I think they just make any time look a bit awfully rough, I think.
Look, there's a lady in the live chat there, Priscilla, says, I'm not sure who this man speaking is, but Sligo town is a massive lefty town. It's a lost cause. I think she misspelled it, but I'm assuming she said it's a lost cause. It is dead.
Oh, no, she's dead, right? Like it's a high, there's a lot of Fianna Fáil supporters here, and there is a lot of like it was only there the other day. There was a Palestine march here, and they were doing some present demonstration on the bridge with all the fucking flags and the spray painting around the town. Like it is a big lefty.
But isn't
like
there Sligo University down there too, isn't there?
There is, yeah, the ATU, and the absolute goblins that they produce in there. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Like all of my friends went through college and they all came out great, but it seems like just everywhere the last while they're just kind of, I don't know what's going on, whatever. I don't know if there's something in the water or whatever it is, hey, but they're just they're losing their minds, like.
Give me a second here. Just give me 30 seconds. I'll bring you back here because I just want to go to the live chat. All right. Any questions you have for the man from Sligo, please let us know. Priscilla, thanks for joining us and thanks for moderating. Zero as well, thanks for moderating. Sean Mack. As I said already, any questions for the young man, please let us know in the live chat. Sligo is a waste of time. I was in Dublin, you can see. They said we would have a privileged life far too long. Sinn Féin said that. What else is everybody saying? Wake up now, yeah, absolutely. Clown Word says one person comes in legally, then they bring in 16 family members. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Look, it's fantastic to see well over 700 people watching. No, there's 725 watching live. Wow, absolutely fantastic. It's an honor and privilege to be here as a bog man from County Donegal to speak to mostly Irish people, but you're welcome no matter where you are in the world. No more brother wars. No more brother wars with our Presbyterian, also Scotch cousins in the north. And we must unite, stick together, because as Europeans, we are all under attack. Doesn't matter what, ethnicity, European ethnicity you are, we are under attack. That's why we must band together. And look, before we bring our Sligo man back on here, I want to introduce our political movement, Shield na HÉireann, Ireland's fastest growing Christian nationalist movement in the whole island of Ireland. You can join from no matter where you are in the world. What do you get as a member? You get a framed proclamation, a beautiful membership card, an Irish flag, and this beautiful lapel badge there. That's the badge I designed myself. You can get it if you join. Scroll down below this video. You can join as an an Irish member, an international member, doesn't matter. You all have the same memberships. So I joined from America, Canada, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. No matter where you're from, join now, support our work. We go to all these anti-immigration protests. We conduct live streams. We do interviews. We hand out hundreds, if not thousands, of free flags. We produce Ireland's only Christian national newspaper, the Irish Patriot. Actually, speaking of the Irish Patriot newspaper, we're hoping to go into print this week. So whatever comes in this week, this is what we're going to print. I was hoping to print 100,000 newspapers for these big demos coming up now. We will be in Cork this coming Saturday. I will not personally be there, but we will have members handing out papers. We will be doing a live stream from our channel, and then we'll be in Carrickmacross the week after, and the week after that we'll be in Dublin. So we're heading all these protests. We're bringing our newspapers, we're bringing our flags, and we're getting these big 14-foot banners made for the front of protest. Ireland is full. We're getting placards made. So any money that comes in goes straight back into the movement. So if you want to join as a member, scroll down below this video and get this. I must say, oh god, what did I do? That fine. See, sometimes when I press these buttons, it goes mad altogether. Hold on, I went into a slideshow here. Oh man, I don't know what's going on now. Hold on a minute here. So this here badge, you see, you can get it if you join as a member. Scroll down below this video, join as a member now. Okay, so let's bring that young man back on from Sligo. Declan, are you with us still?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Good man, Declan. So do you speak to any of the local people, like any of the parents, for example, who bring their children into them schools beside this new iPass mega iPass complex? Do you speak to any of them? What's their views, or are they welcoming all this stuff?
Now, with the work that I do, like I actually go into a lot of the community houses, like so I work with the elderly and that there, so I am in with the community, and they're all concerned about it, because. Well, to be like, Sligo has already have felt the brunt of migration. Like, as you know the story yourself from a few years ago with Joseph Polanyi, we had 2 men in our town that got decapitated, and Sligo's like, and this was a man that we gave him everything. We welcomed him into the town. We gave him a house, an education, everything, and that's how we repaid it.
Just on that topic, there a lot of my listeners won't, like a lot of the Irish Americans and stuff, people listening from the UK won't know about that story. Could you maybe just go into that, because that was a massive story at the time, and it absolutely shocked the Irish people and the world about the brutality of these murders. And what was the reaction of the people in Sligo, and maybe go into the propaganda that the mainstream media were pushing, trying to blame Irish men for all this?
Yeah, no, because I do remember. I remember very clearly, because what happened was Joseph Polanyi, he was an Iraqi immigrant, and he moved to Sligo when he was a young lad, and he went through the school system. He went through, I think it was Summerhill. I'm not 100% sure which school he was, but he was a local in the town, and he was a liked lad as well. Like, that was the thing that kind of set everyone back. But he was a good lad, and well, that's what I heard. But then there was just one time he must have snapped, or to be honest with you, I actually think, and a lot of people at the time thinks, that he was actually made to do it, because they found nearly €500,000 in your fella's house, and none of that family worked. They were all on benefits. So, I mean, you must have been saving fucking every penny if you have €500,000 sitting in the gaff. But what happened was then is that he went on then to download Grindr, and as what people know what Grindr is.
Yeah, it's a gay dating app for those of you who don't know.
And well, he made a list. He made a hit list of 17 men, and now, fortunately, but unfortunately at the same time, he only got to 2 of them, because it was 2 consecutive nights, one after another. So he ended up killing a man in Cartrin, and it was like, both of them were shocking. Like, we were told that the guards that found the scenes and everything, they all had to get therapy and all of that there. Like, it was bad. Like, people came out, the heads were gone, private parts cut off, all this kind of, it was proper grotesque. Like, and it had the town on a standstill, because Sligo town, they wouldn't have really experienced something like that since for a very long time, it would have been a very, it never really happened since I've been here anyway.
It's never them types of things have never happened in Ireland. Full stop.
Not to that level of, savagery anyway. Like, and but see, it kind of got more fucked up as well because they ended up investigating it. They found all that money in their house, seized the money, but then the family of that buck got ran out the town.
Yeah, the
They were like, no,
father.
the father and the family got ran out the town.
Right.
But they moved back here. They did. They've moved back to Sligo. They did, and I'm almost somewhat certain someone told me they were given the house and all that. There, they were back in Sligo, and then the father now was taking. Is it they're taking the guards to court for taking that was it €300,000
Yeah.
from
Yeah. He's suing
he's
suing the state to get the money back.
Yeah, he's suing the state for taking the money, and then I'm almost certain he was trying to sue the state for taking them off benefits. But I don't know. I was only told that part. I actually didn't read that anyway, so I don't know if that's true. But I mean, they don't work. Now, one of his brother works in that there, but
But
yeah, that was
didn't
kind
that migrant who killed them two gay men? Didn't he blinded a third man, gouged out his eye or something as well?
that's right. Actually, yeah, he managed to get his hands on a third fella going up. It was a road called, I think it was up by Tunnel Fubble Lane, it was called. But he just cycled past on a bike and just stabbed him in the eye and just carried on. That's what happened there. Now he didn't. Now we don't know whether that was just a random attack, which I think it was, because I don't think that fella was on Grinder now. I don't. But yeah, no, he was essentially getting all of his targets from Grinder and it was about 17 names were on it. And he got through two of them, two too many, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so we've already seen the ugly side of it. It's like, okay, you bring them in now, but it's like, what are they going to do down the line? I mean, we gave that fella everything. We treated him well. We treated him nicely and his family. And then we get repaid like that there. Now, we never really were given the motive on why he actually did it. They're kind of playing the, the mental health card and this, the crazy card. But there was people that knew the boy, his father was a bit tapped, but he
Was it
wasn't
radicalized in a mosque or anything, or with Islam or anything like that?
There was word of it because. That's actually right. You mentioned that because there was word saying because he did pray in the local mosque, and the mosque that he did pray in is only about a 5-minute walk from me. They said someone was saying that he actually told his local imam about it. It'd be their priest kind of, and told his local imam about it, and they were just like, "Oh, just ignore it, don't do it." Well, I don't even know if they did tell him not to do it. But always being said that they knew what he was feeling like doing. And allegedly, after he would finish the killings, because at that stage they didn't know who it was, he went up and he prayed in the local mosque though, he didn't miss prayer, And now there was some attention, the situation when they were getting ran from the town and made to leave, there was actually, was it an Iranian or an Iraqi politician or something came out and said that the Irish Garda Force should be protecting that family and making sure nothing happens to them, and didn't mention anything about the killings. So that's when people were kind of, now I know that's going to sound like kind of conspiracy kind of crack to people, but people are kind of saying now he offered himself to them. I guess he offered his services or whatever the fuck they call it, and they gave him the money for it, and then he went off and did it because that even that was happening before we were having this huge influx. That happened, what was it, back in 2021, or was it 2021 or 2020, I think, or 2022? It was a good few years ago now. It wasn't even recent, but
yeah, it was a good few years ago now.
Yeah, but now it's everyone has forgotten about that. It's the only time it might be mentioned is when he was back in court, or that time when he got assaulted in prison. that was the only time it gets mentioned. But like even now, it's been completely brushed under the rug. Like,
Mm.
you know, it's just it was just never mentioned. But that's because as well, I think a lot of people weren't even looking at it at that side of, like radicalization and all that there, because like the media was like pumping every resource in them saying it was, what's that shite they say, is it toxic masculinity or some
Toxic
shite like that?
masculinity, and the violence
Oh,
against well, no, yeah,
women, yeah,
toxic at masculinity. No, it was attacks on the LGBT community, and it was a homophobic attack.
attack, yeah. And but sure, then I think, when people started. Now, to be fair, when he was getting sentenced in court, there was a huge gathering outside the. You see, the two fellas that he did kill were actually well-known boys in the town. Like they were gentlemen. Like they weren't even. They one was. I think one was in his 30s, and then the other one was in his 50s as well. Like or he might have been a bit older. But there was big uproar about that. But like if it's out of sight, out of mind, you're gonna forget about it. And I think that's what happened as well, because like that's why I started making the videos about these iPass centers and what's going on in Sligo, because I'm like, fuck me, like I don't want another one of them happening in the town.
Yeah.
Not in and I'm not even originally from Sligo. I'm originally from Donegal. And like I moved to Sligo about 7 years ago, and like they are the most welcoming people. Like it's such a lovely wee town that it'd be more of a shame to see it being destroyed and ruined because of actually how beautiful it is. Like Sligo is such a wee gem. Like, but you have people that coming in and they don't see the value of it. They don't see the beauty in it. So it's not gonna have that significance to them, like that value. And like you said, then it's like when there's enough being brought in, it's just going to dilute it. And I mean, I don't know if you're watching the video. It was I can't remember who made it, but they were talking about the statistics of the rising of our population, and they were saying that like we've already reached the level of population now of what we were meant to reach by 2036, but like over like 70% of it has been the result of immigration.
Well, of course it is.
You know,
The Irish birth rate's plummeting. Where
yeah,
the Irish are
Providence
the Irish are emigrating on record levels, and we're killing our unborn Irish children. 10,000 every year are
is
killed. So of course it's the migrants. Our Irish birth rates is we're in free for all.
nearly
It's
none. It's like I
or free
know
fall. Sorry.
because that's the thing as well. Like if you even just like stop and look around at the things, like everything is put into place for us not to be able to have kids. Because some of the first things you've got to be able to do is save money. You can't save money in this the cost of living crisis nowadays. All your money is going to rent, or all your money is feeding yourself or paying bills. Like by the time you've got everything paid off, you don't even have enough to put a new shirt on your back. Like you're paying to survive. Like
Yes,
but
one
then they
paycheck to the next, just surviving.
that's what it is surviving. But like then it goes right back then. Like you have all these people coming in, and they have everything. Like it seems like the only people that aren't struggling in Ireland are people that aren't from Ireland. You know, like
Yeah,
there's very few.
there was a lady in the live chat, Priscilla again. She says, "I was born and raised, and still live in County Sligo, and I can tell you, all of Sligo town is unrecognisable. It has gone, it was gone back at the end of 2018, and since then, businesses are closing down at a huge rate."
Yeah, and then they're just getting replaced by those. Like I think in the last year alone, like she's completely correct. Like in the last year alone, there must have been about 10 of those type of shops opening up. Like vape shops and fucking barbers and the halal shops. And it's like there's like one or two of them on every street, and you're just like, well, like it is because they're getting incentives and they're getting grants. Like I'm almost certain I was reading about a granting system that they have, that if they're opening a business that is like not like Irish themed, not Irish themed, but like not selling Irish products, like they're selling foreign products. Like they're being given roughly like 60 grand a year for the first 3 years, so they can keep the business afloat. And now they can still claim that 60,000 even on top of their profit. So like, how is even like Irish businesses meant to compete with that when, like, sure they lose half their fucking profit when if someone has to pay by card, but these ones then are getting handed 60 grand at the end of the year, no matter what the profit is, probably. Because like it's the same situation where the Ukrainians were getting the full benefits and rent, but they are still, there's still ones out there working full time, but they said no, they are still entitled to these payments. Like, sure, there was people I was chatting to, and they knew some of these lads, and they were bringing home like 1,200-1,300 quid a year because they're a week, sorry, because they were working and getting cash in hand. Well, to be honest with you, a lot of them were getting paid through the bank because like it wasn't even going to affect their payments, but they were also getting their rent paid for and their food and their travel. And you're just like, and they're not keeping that money in Ireland. Like that's the thing as well. And that's what I try to tell people. Like, you don't want to put your money anywhere near that sort of crack, like them shops or those donations, because like you will never see it again. Like it's not being kept in the town; it's being sent out the country. Like like they're building houses elsewhere and all this shit. But no, like Sligo is changing because we're even noticing like we have a few estates that's getting built up at the moment up in Tunnel Fubble and up by near Crows on. It's an estate called it is down here, but like they're getting built up and that. But sure, how many of them are actually going to end up in our hands? Like, like here, the vulture funds coming in, buying up half of the estates, and then the actual state then will buy another portion of them to be able to give them to whatever pleasure they want to use them for, or whoever they want to give it to. And then there might be a handful of Irish people that might get the houses. But sure, then they're living in really, that's only if they get accepted for a mortgage. I think you've got to be earning nearly 40 grand now until you even maybe even be able to get a mortgage. But it depends on your job as well. But then they get the assistant. I'm not sure what the scheme's actually called, but I think it's called the assistant buying scheme, where people that are coming to the country will actually receive assistance in buying a house. But like we're sitting here, and like I know a lady up in I can't remember where she's properly from, but she was denied a mortgage like twice, and then when she finally got one, sure, she was paying nearly 500,000 for the most regular house, like so it's like, and then that's her, and she's putting herself in debt for, these people Irish people are putting themselves in debt for life just to have something as basic as a home. But, if you look left and right to these others, they're getting handed keys to these lovely houses. Like,
yeah, it's not fair, is it? Like, I don't think any foreign national should be allowed to buy property in Ireland. It's completely destroying the house market. And these, God forgive me, these Indians are coming into Ireland, but in Letterkenny, they're buying up all the property in Letterkenny. I'm sure it's the same around the rest of the country as well.
yeah, no, like there's it's the same, and it is in the same in Sligo as well, because like I always keep an eye I always keep an eye a wee eye on housing for sales, like just with prices and just more out of just curiosity, like. And like a lot of things will go up for sale, and like it'll be bought within a week, and like you'd be thinking like, oh brilliant, there's someone that got a house, but then you'll be passing it then like a few weeks later, and there'd be like two foreign families in it, and you're just like, how the fuck are you coming like to but you are like you're saying, like the fact that you're allowed to buy a house in a foreign country is wild in my opinion, because like the amount of countries in Europe alone that doesn't wouldn't allow like a foreigner to come in and buy a house. But over here it's almost like, we hand them the paperwork to do it, like,
No, 100%. Hey Declan, is there anything we can point to now for your gathering, or like hopefully we get a protest going? I'll more than willing to help you. So I'll supply you with flags, banners, placards, free advertising, of course, and charge you absolutely nothing. We're doing this for Ireland.
yeah.
So look, you got my full support. If you want to do anything, I'll be there. I'll give you any advice or whatever you want to do, I'm there to help.
Well, thank you for that. No, we do really appreciate it, like, because especially in Sligo, like going back to what your one was saying, like it is quite a lefty town. So like the people that really do see what's coming, like, it's just fucking. But yeah, no, we're hoping, like, we did make a Sligo Says No page, but it must have been reported and it was taken down within 12 hours. So we got to work around the name, but we're more likely going to call it Sligo Community uh, Spotlight.
Yeah,
And we're
good.
just going to put all the information on there.
If
And
you lost it within 12 hours, I doubt it was reported. Something you must have flagged some kind
I,
of
yeah, I think we were flagged or something.
terms of
See, I'm not,
service.
yeah, like, I don't know much about that computer world. Like, I've stayed away from that crack, like, so. But no, like, one of the people that was telling that I was showing them to, they're like, no, it must have been flagged because they've got like some AI system or some shite now looking at like flagging stuff, so it's seen instantaneously almost. But no, we're more likely we will be calling it something like Sligo Community Spotlight or Watchdogs or something like that there. And
Get it
and
up and
there's,
going, and I'll share it, and I'll try and get it built, help
yeah,
you get it built up.
yeah, because there's literally not one in the town just yet, like where people can go. Like we have a Sligo community page, but they show everything on that. But, like just one, just to strictly show that. But that's what we're called. Sure, I'll let you know it when we have it, and then if you could share it, we'd really appreciate it. Like,
100%, no problem. Hey, thanks so much, Declan, for coming on. We'll speak to you again soon.
yeah, no, thank you for having me on as well. I really do appreciate your time.
Priscilla could be a good woman. Priscilla, contact me if you want, and Priscilla's a good woman. She might be able to help you out. She's asking how many people are involved with you in Sligo Town.
See, at the moment, I say we be see. It's more. Is that a case now where there'd be like a dozen of us, but like those dozen of people would know another handful of people, But like, see, we'll know exactly how many people in the town are against this kind of crap once we have the Facebook page up and
Yeah,
running.
but hey, if you have a dozen people who are on board, and you need to get them all involved in that Facebook page, and you just need to be posting constantly and getting people.
Oh yeah, no, we have it all lined up. Like we were all like we got it sorted there, and we have all the information ready to go. Like, but once we saw it was flagged, and like I've been away all weekend, we've been, and like it's just been so busy with things like. So we'll be getting it done because I'm off tomorrow with the bank holiday. But we have
Right.
all the information there ready. And if there is anyone watching on your show that are in Sligo, like if you go back on my page, all the information is there about that little town essentially being built up by the Globe House. So if there's anyone that hasn't known about it, they can take a look at it and reach out or something because I think, to be honest with you, I think we're already gone past the crossroads at this point. It's kind of backing up now and getting back on the right path. Like,
100%. Right. We'll stay in touch, Declan, and hopefully you get something set up, and hopefully get a protest going soon.
yeah, no, we'll get something sorted definitely. Like because something will have to be done, and there's enough people concerned about it as well. So once we have a date in that, there we'll let everyone know and yourself know as well. Then we can start moving forward. Then even more hopefully, and
Sound
hopefully
job.
some change from it.
All right, good man, Nick. I'll let you go anyway.
No worries, and thank you for having us on again. And God bless you and all your viewers as well.
100%, Declan. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Alright, that was Declan there from County Sligo. Hopefully he gets the page set up quickly, and hopefully we'll get it built up for him. I'll do whatever I can for him. No, I've got a decent platform here. We'll advertise any protests, and I'll be contacting other big Twitter and YouTube channels too to promote their stuff, and I'll let everybody know to who refuses to advertise it. So that was good fella Declan there. So good man yourself, Declan, for having the courage to come on, right? So let me go to the live chat really quickly to see what everyone's saying. Let me know what you think of the live chat. Was it a good interview? Did he speak well? Any questions you have or comments? Anybody from Sligo in the live chat? Or in the, you don't have to be from Sligo, Leitrim, Donegal, Galway, Roscommon, etc. Declan was a great guest, says thanks, but no thanks. So just before I go to the live chat there, look, we're trying to get the latest issue of our party newspaper, the Irish Patriot, to print. Look, I'm going to print this week. I was hoping for 100,000 papers to print, but unfortunately we just haven't hit our target. Probably more like 20-30,000 papers being printed. So the more we bring in now, the more papers we're going to print. We can get the papers out. The last issue was fantastic. We got 50,000 newspapers distributed, and we got a great response. And we got rid of them no problem. We're actually out of newspapers. I've held back like 400 to 600 newspapers just for protests in between these issues. So look, whatever comes in now, whatever money comes in the next day or two, is going to increase the number of papers printed, and we will get rid of them at all these protests. And we've got newspaper distribution teams all over Ireland distributing our party newspaper. We have Ireland's only patriotic newspaper in the whole island of Ireland, called the Irish Patriot. We've been in operation for over 5.5 years. Ireland's only Irish national newspaper. See, people say, "Oh, now you don't need a physical newspapers in this modern technology world." Well, when you get banned of all social media platforms, we'll have to go back to the newspaper. And see, you have to understand too, a lot of people are not on social media. You have to boycott or bypass the mainstream media like RTE and get the newspaper into the hands of the average Irishman, like the farmer, the mechanic, the school teacher. And we are chipping away at the narrative, the propaganda of the mainstream media. So if you want to chip in €10, you can. If you want to chip in more, even better. Scroll down below this video. Any money that comes in now in the next couple of days, we will be putting it straight to our newspaper. Let's get as much newspapers printed as possible. Another way you can support us is joining as a member of our political movement, Shield na HÉireann. You get a frame proclamation, a membership card, an Irish flag 5 foot by 3 foot, and a beautiful lapel badge. I was trying to bring up the badge picture there, but I don't see it. I must have exited. Let me see here now. So if you want to see the lapel badge that you get, let me see. Drag this over here. Maximize that. So this is the lapel badge that you will get if you join as a member, on top of all the frame proclamation, the membership card, the Who We Are booklet as well, and the Irish flag as well. And you'll get this beautiful Ogla Shield na HÉireann membership badge. Look, what do you think of the badge? I'm very proud of the badge. I think it's one of the best badges I've ever seen. And so yeah, Shield na HÉireann, that's our political movement, our Christian nationalist movement, Ireland's fastest growing Christian nationalist movement in the whole island of Ireland. You'll get this badge, a beautiful membership box as well. Like it's hard. I need to do a better job of advertising. I need to get a video of like opening up the box and all that kind of stuff, So I scroll down below the video if you want to join. Click the join button. Get involved now. You can join from anywhere in the world: Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, Canada, America, Australia. And people wonder, why are you raising funds for a newspaper? Why do you have memberships? Well, we have Ireland's only patriotic newspaper in the whole island of Ireland. Just to do a regular print of a newspaper for, say, 20,000 papers, it's well over €5,000. We hand out free flags at all the anti-immigration protests. No, we handed, the last time we handed out over 100 flags. It's cost us well over €3 per flag. Hand them out for free. We handed the newspaper for free. We do live streams, do pre-records. We do a lot of work. We're trying to raise awareness. All free of charge as well. So any money that comes in, it goes straight back into the movement. And name another Irish nationalist movement in Ireland who's got a newspaper, who's got a membership like we do, who's got the professional political system that we do. We're doing it right because we love our country. I mean, we see people come and going all the time. They're in it for their own fame and glory. My channel is 13.5 years old. We've been here from the beginning, exposing immigration, exposing the murder of unborn Irish children, and exposing the LGBT propaganda in our schools. So if you want to support our work, you're more than welcome to do so. And if you want to hit the streets and hand out our paper, get in contact with me, alright? Okay, everybody, that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to the moderator, Sheepdog, Sean Mack. You know who you are. I'm very grateful for your support. So I will see you all again soon. Probably be live Wednesday again, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. And we'll maybe do a news story show, alright? So I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you all again soon. God bless you all. Aaron Gobra.